Hello! Today I'm going to talk about Ang Lee, a filmmaker that I find really interesting if you look at his filmography. Disclosure, it is 86.3 degrees Fahrenheit, and so if you hear a little noise in the background, it's because I've got my fan on. And I ain't turning off the fan because it's 86.3 degrees Fahrenheit. With that disclosure out of the way, let us begin. So, a little bit about Ang Lee. Ang Lee was born in Taiwan in 1954 on October 23rd. He studied theater there before moving to New York to study film at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. This background is important because it gives him a unique perspective with the way he bridges Eastern and Western cultures in his films. His cross-cultural experience helping to influence his storytelling style, blending different cinematic traditions and themes. Some filmography and awards. You can see a few pictures there in the back. Upper left hand corner you have Life of Pi. Upper right hand corner you have Brokeback Mountain. Lower left hand corner you have here, get a better shot of that. You have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And on the lower right hand corner you have Hulk from 2003 Hulk movie. But some filmography and awards. Ang Lee has directed a wide variety of films across many genres. Early in his career, he made family dramas like Pushing Hands and Eat, Drink, Man, Woman, which focus on family dynamics and cultural identity. He gained international attention with Sense and Sensibility in 1995, an adaptation of Jane Austen's novel. Then, in 2000, came Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a martial arts film that won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Foreign Language Film. He also directed Brokeback Mountain in 2005, which won 3 Oscars and earned him the Best Director Award. More recently, quote unquote, in 2012, it's 2025 now, he made Life of Pi, another Oscar-winning film. Lee is known for experimenting with a lot of film technology, which has helped him to win Oscars, as you can see here. For example, his film, his most recent film, from 2019, Gemini Man, was shot in a high frame rate format and also used various digital tools in post-production in order to have Will Smith act in a scene with Will Smith 20 years ago. You know, you gotta watch the movie to really understand that, if you will. But some other films that I have listed here, such as Billy Lynn's Lawn Halftime Walk, is another example of his family dramas that are a little bit more subdued, not in terms of their visuals and their epic high concept stories, such as, say, Hulk or Life of Pi. Basically, it was him returning to his roots with films such as Pushing Hands, The Wedding Banquet, and Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. Fun fact, or not so fun fact, depending on your opinion, The Wedding Banquet has just been remade in 2025. Yes, there is a remake of this movie. No idea why, in my personal opinion, we're remaking The Wedding Banquet. Okay. But anyways, moving on, you see here a better list of some of his awards. Yes, this is a Google screenshot. It was the best list that I could find, and so I screenshotted it for you. But some of the thematic and personal style of his movies, Ang Lee was once quoted as saying, "I'm a drifter and an outsider. There's not one single environment I can totally belong to. My cultural roots are something elusive." One of the things that stands out One of the things that stands out about Ang Lee's films is his focus on identity, family, and cultural conflict. He often explores the tension between tradition and modernity or East and West. Geez, words are hard sometimes, guys. His visual style varies widely, sometimes poetic and lyrical, like in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and sometimes intimate and naturalistic, like in Brokeback Mountain. He also uses strong visual metaphors. For instance, in Life of Pi, the ocean and the tiger symbolize freedom, danger, and the unknown. These themes are woven through many of his films and give them emotional depth. He has films that are CGI heavy, such as Life of Pi or Hulk, and then he has films that are, again, a little bit more subdued with their visual style, but what they lack in visual style they make up for in story thematics, such as Brokeback Mountain, for instance. And just to focus in on one of his films for a second here, we have the 2005 film Brokeback Mountain. Quick little summary here. A story of two cowboys, Ennis and Jack, who develop a secret, lifelong romantic relationship. The film explores themes of forbidden love, masculinity, and social repression. As you can tell by the GIF I put in the background there, if you, for some reason, are unfamiliar with this film, the tan wearing dude there is played by Heath Ledger, and the green and blue jeans wearing character there is played by Mr. Jake Gyllenhaal, and this is a film about gay cowboys. So, upon watching Brokeback Mountain, I wanted to say I like this film for its emotional honesty and the powerful performances of the actors. One scene that really stood out to me is the campfire scene where Ennis and Jack sorry there. And it's a little hot. Had to swallow for a second. Anyways, where the two characters share an intimate moment. The lighting is soft and the camera focuses closely on their faces, showing their feelings without many words. This scene is a great example of Ang Lee's ability to tell deep emotional stories through visuals rather than dialogue, something that you'll find in every single film he does. Stuff from Hulk to Brokeback Mountain to Life of Pi to Gemini Man, every film that he's done. This is something that he does a lot of. The cinematography and music also evoke a strong sense of the place and the mood, combined with the slow pacing, which helps to deepen the emotional impact. Now, regardless of obviously the, some of the controversies that arise from this type of story in this film, because it talks about a hot topic in society uh, regarding the LGBTQ community. Uh, the actual portrayal, I believe, is very good. I believe the actors, uh, separating the art from all the art from the artist, making that separation. I believe that one should recognize that the artists did a good job. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree with the message, but I think if you just focus in on what the artists were able to do, I think they did a good job there. And so I liked the job that they did. Uh, trying not to get into politics here doesn't necessarily mean I agree with every decision from a character standpoint, but hey, I know how to separate art from the artist. And here's some more still images, but Artur status. Ang Lee, I believe, definitely fits the idea of an Artur. Now, Artur is a director whose films carry a distinct personal style and recurring themes. There are many kind of visual styles an auteur might have, but the general idea is that an auteur is a filmmaker that makes the film that he wants to make, that he gets to craft, that he gets to imprint himself onto and really make it his own. A filmmaker that's not hindered by the big studios and is instead allowed to flourish. And Ang Lee, I believe, is one of them. Because even though he works in many different genres, his films share common themes such as identity, family, and cultural conflict. For example, the use of nature as a metaphor appears in many of his films. Mountains in Brokeback Mountain, the ocean in Life of Pi, the forests in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. These natural elements often symbolize emotional freedom or struggle. His personal experience of navigating between different cultures shapes his storytelling, making his work uniquely his own. Essentially, he is infusing his immigrant and bicultural individuality into these characters, into these stories, to influence his storytelling perspective. That is the base point that I believe makes Ang Lee an auteur. And furthermore, here are some images of some of his films. So up on the left you have Hulk, 2003. If you haven't seen the film, that whole frame isn't something that I put together in terms of like take snapshot from this scene and here and put together like that. That is how the film was made. One of the things Ang Lee wanted to do was he wanted to show, rather than do a bunch of cuts to and from multiple perspectives, he showed all the perspectives all on screen, all at the same time. And he did it with a comic book like style where each panel was in its own cut off frame, just like a comic book. Which shows the fact that Ang Lee isn't a run-of-the-mill director for hire, that he does have his visual sauce to make his films distinct and uniquely his own, which gives more credence to the auteur theory. In the lower left-hand corner, you have a battle scene from his film Billy Lynn's Halftime Walk. In the upper right-hand corner, you have a scene from Gemini Man where Will Smith is acting opposite Will Smith. And in the lower right hand corner, you have an image here from Ang Lee's Lust Caution. But moving on, why Ang Lee is a director of art cinema. I believe Ang Lee's films are a great example of art cinema because they combine commercial appeal with artistic depth. His films challenge typical Hollywood storytelling by focusing on complex characters and emotional realism instead of just action or plot. His movies invite viewers to think deeply about identity, love, and cultural conflict, often leaving some ambiguity and open questions. This focus on character psychology, formal innovation, and thematic complexity aligns well with the goals of art cinema. Furthermore, he essentially, as I say here, blends commercial appeal with artistic innovation, a hallmark of art cinema's balance of accessibility and depth. And I believe that little image there from Hulk 2003 is a great example of that. He challenges traditional Hollywood genres with complex characters and cultural nuance. For example, basically every film he's ever made. And he uses formal experimentation while maintaining auteur-driven narratives. For example, having Will Smith act opposite Will Smith, or what he did with Hulk 2003. The emphasis he puts on character psyche and the realism of the emotions that he gives the characters, the emphasis of the subjectiveness over simple plot-driven stories, I believe is something he excels at. His films also invite reflection and thought, often avoiding clear resolutions, aligning with art cinema's goals. Essentially, he likes to play around with what the ending means and making the audience think once they've seen the film, whilst not taking them out of the film, but after they've seen the film, the messages and what was going on and what they were trying to do. But in conclusion, as Ang Lee here eats this In-N-Out cheeseburger after winning Best Director at the Oscars one year, Ang Lee is a versatile filmmaker whose work crosses cultural and cinematic boundaries. His films are emotionally rich and stunning, making him an important auteur in contemporary art cinema. He enriches the global pool of cinema that is available for viewing. Those films transcend the boundaries of the genres that he's working in with each film, with what he's able to do, whilst also engaging deeply with themes of identity and human connection. And his work embodies many characteristics of art cinema, such as complex characters, thematic depth, and formal innovation. And with that being the case, this concludes the little presentation here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to sit through however long this presentation has gone. And with the fact that it is hot, so if you hear, again, just in case you forgot from when the beginning of the video, because it's been a bit, if you heard any sort of noise discrepancies or the fact that I was speaking kind of a little slowly, it's because it is, again, hot and I'm dying of heat here. So, I appreciate you cutting me some slack. Anyways, with that being said, have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching this presentation.